Can I just do this?
Yeah.
Sweet. Tends to be taller than everyone.
Introducing your final tablers for the Goliath in seat number 1. We're sitting on 390,000 is Michael Maddox.
Okay.
And in seat number 2, the current chip lead is Dennis Jakovic on 3,125,000.
Well done, Big Ben.
Do you mind if I just borrow one of these?
And seat number 3, this man needs no introduction. This is his 4th consecutive Goliath final table. Is the one and only Alex Linsky sitting on 291,000.
The one and only. Ooh, baby.
And a very good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're watching around the world. You are looking at the final table of the Goliath here at the Australian Poker Tour. I'm Harvey Silver. Welcome to our live stream.
Now you know who I am.
I'm sure a lot of you followed this yesterday all the way down to this final table. It's an absolutely stacked final table for this, our biggest buy-in event at the Australian Poker Tour Queensland event. We had 118 runners to start with. We're down to the last 9 now, and they're playing for a prize of $74,000 to the winner, plus a $750 opening high roller ticket at our upcoming APT high roller event, and of course the beautiful Carcass Jewelry's APT. Lot to play for. We'll run through the players as we go through this. Probably unnecessary for a lot of people watching this stream. Some very, very recognisable names. And I'm going to be here a while because there's still some very big stacks on this table. Even our relatively short players still have a heap of big blinds before it's going to start getting too panicky for them. So we're going to see some great poker, no question whatsoever. Will be a lot of fun.
When you are ready, you guys may shuffle up and deal. Best of luck.
Copy, correct? Dealer is in full.
Going to be joined by Will Davis here, who's spent a little bit of time yesterday with us. Welcome, Will.
Thank you for having me back. Couldn't miss this final table. Too much talent. Some regulars on here that everyone will be familiar with: Adam Carmen, Linsky, the Thatcher Snatcher, Maddox, Sam Haddad. What's been happening so far?
First hand. So you've missed nothing.
Just in time.
They've just sat down. A reminder that we broadcast here on a half-hour delay, so we'll probably saw a little bit of early action live as you're walking through the room, but I know it's a busy day for you, so you probably weren't taking that much notice. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up for you and APO.
Perfect intro. Yeah, we just have a satellite on here at 3 o'clock. So a 350 satellite with 8 seats guaranteed to our APO main event. We have actually made it that it's open to, if you win a ticket, it can be used in any flight. So it's now not specified just to the Queensland flight. So yeah, if you do win a ticket, it can now be used for any flight, which we just announced in the room. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. A little nervous because obviously 8 seats for a 3,300 is a lot, but we're kind of getting used to it now with all the big satellites we're running. But yeah, we're excited for it.
Thanks, Taylor. We're going to try and get the audio up to a level that you're happy with. We'd love to see you guys on the chat. If it's a little bit of production advice, if it's some questions that you've got, if it's some support for your particular favourite on the table, let us know. What a surprise that Alex is in first hand here.
I really hope this
likes
guy's
to play.
Is this nickname self-inflicted, or did one of his friends give Paul the nickname?
Okay, you're talking about Paul Chubby. I think I'm not even going to enter in there.
I very much hope it's self-inflicted and self-promoted. Sounds like one of those nicknames in a WhatsApp group that he might not be aware of.
Yeah,
now,
possibly.
And now it's on stream to hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching.
Possibly. If it's a Aussie nickname, it's often the absolute opposite of what you are.
Yeah.
You being an Englishman, you probably know that we call, you know, very quiet people rowdy.
Yeah, and tiny people will get called like Big Paul, for example. Or
correct.
6'7" blokes, Little Chris. It's,
redheads are bluey.
That's coming over from the UK. The biggest two things were that and how people shorten everything. So
yes.
Arvo.
Yeah.
I heard someone say, "Oh, can I get the Barra?" the other day when they were ordering Barra Monday. Like they just shorten everything. It's some things that don't even need shortening get shortened.
Yeah. Even Will, they'll find a way to shorten a one-syllable name. Will.
Big W. Same amount of syllables, but
3 bets, 160,000.
If you're on the stream, please get it out there to anyone who is interested. They may not have been totally aware that we were back at 1 o'clock Queensland time or 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So please let everyone who might want to be watching this stream know that it's on. This is going to be a really cracking final table. You can see just from the names that are on it. And first hand, we've already got 970K in the middle. Alex making a move which is not going to work for him, I wouldn't have thought, with Chubby hitting the ace on the flop.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen wilder things, but I think Linsky will probably give up. I mean, he has such a bad hand, he can't really give up, but people don't generally call twice and fold on the river, especially on a dry run out.
His other issue, I suppose, is that there's 970 invested and Paul's only got another 305 behind, but he fires anyway because he wants Chubby to make a decision for his tournament life.
This is a very tough spot with ace 10 off. He beats no value hands. Flush draw came in on the turn, backdoor straight draw came in. I mean, Linsky's obviously got a reputation, obviously being such an experienced and top quality player, but I mean, ace 10 off is a horrible spot on this river.
All players, freeze out your blinds are
especially in a 4-bet pot.
5,000.
He's selling the story that he has the ace king, ace queen, so Chubby has to believe he's 4-betting with absolutely nothing, or just taken 2 kings or 2 queens with a heart and turned it into a bluff. Yeah, this is a fascinating first hand. Probably not the first hand Chubby had in mind.
No.
I'll just settle in, I'll see how the table plays, and now he's heavily involved. I think he'll probably fold. First hand on FT, people don't normally like to hero it off.
Wow.
Yeah, great bluff by Alex. That's why he's one of the best.
And you'd think probably knew what he was doing all along on the basis of that. It really wasn't about what cards he had in his hand, was it?
He really told the story, right? He 4-bet pre, bet jam. It's an incredibly strong line. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's Linsky showing his intentions for the rest of the FT. Yeah, we have the YouTube link up on the chat now, so share the YouTube link. Go and watch on YouTube. Going to be a long final table, but a very entertaining one if that first hand's anything to go by.
Yeah. And we're also out on Twitch, so 3 platforms that you can go to, whatever your favourite is. If you're on Facebook and obviously chatting and messaging, we're seeing all the chat there. If you want to get involved, got some questions, if you want to show some support.
Realise we have 2 nicknames. We've got the Dipper, obviously, still, and then now we've got the Chubby. What's the best poker nickname you know of? Even if it's amongst your friends in the Manila game we were discussing yesterday.
3 fold, 4 fold, 5 fold.
That's a very good question. I'll probably have to think about that one.
It's a good one for the chat. Best poker nickname you know of.
Day, boys. New day
Name and
today.
shame the people.
Thank you.
I certainly have a few people that have great nicknames around their work situations,
Yeah.
not their poker situations.
Yeah, I know there's a TikTok page. There's like 3 or 4 guys that do text-ins, and it's just like the best nicknames at work, and they have some incredible answers.
Yes.
You'll see in half an
Got mate of mine's got a painting company, and he's got a guy that he calls Sensor Light. That's his nickname because he only works when someone walks past.
That's a very good one. There's one of the best ones I heard was the guy who's got one leg short and the other, and they call him a clock. That's always
That's pretty good too.
1 fold. 2 folds.
Sensor Light's a good one.
3 raised, 40,000. 4 folds.
Yeah, Linsky's really going after it, opening the Queen 5 suited.
But he's run into 10s here with Adam, who is not short in aggression himself.
I think he's, even with 55 bigs, I think he's 8th or 7th out of 9, so I think it's not as big a consideration. If only he knew and could see the stream for the first hand, I think he'd definitely 3-bet, but I think he'd most likely coming in with a call.
They may check out the stream at the break, but even on a half-hour delay, there is a rule here that you are not watching the stream at the final table.
This is going to be a fun one. Linsky's flopped the flush draw on a board that he's supposed to bet and hit a lot, so this could be an interesting hand again. 3 hands in, and we might have yet another Linsky big pot involving Alex.
So if you want to jump into the high stakes shot clock for cheap, we've got a $220 satellite.
Interesting to see people's strategies. Obviously, making the FT overnight, they think they're going to just sort of sit there and wait out a couple of bust outs. Obviously, it is a very deep final table. If they're going to show, be really aggressive, or they have certain people they potentially think are a nicer way of playing, but a slightly weaker player than someone else, for example. And yeah, Linsky's just turned up and gone after every single hand that we hear. Both hands he's played.
So 2 little bets here with the equity of the flush draw. Do you think Linsky goes over the top of the 2 of them here?
I think for sure he can put a heap of pressure on there. Both, yeah, I mean, for sure. Very tough for Michael to have a really strong hand in the big blind when he just defends, so it rolls out sort of the kings, the 10s.
He does, raises it to 225.
And Carmen's probably going to, I mean, almost always 3-bet kings and then mix 10s. So again, it's, I mean, he has some king 10 suited, but it's tough for Adam to have a really good hand. But obviously, as he has flattened at the 10s, he has pretty much the best hand he can ever have. I think Adam will just come in with a call here. Keep all of Linsky's bluffs in.
Does he give away a little bit the strength of his hand if it is just a call, do you think?
I think Adam playing just over $1 million can still have, I mean, obviously in Adam's head can still have flush draws, and I mean, Linsky blocks some of them, but the ace-jack of spades. Maybe that should be the only one, actually. Maybe he peels 8-9 suited. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have a pretty good hand once he calls the check raise. Oh, sorry, yeah, check raise. That's a really good card for Alex. Obviously, he has the queen of spades in his hand, which is probably the crucial card in his hand. So he can just freely bet away. He blocks some of Adam's best king necks. Adam probably doesn't have ace kings. He flatted 3. He blocks his king queens. So yeah, in Linsky's eyes, he probably thinks that Adam only has a 1-pair hand, and he can put, again, like he did in the first hand we watched, he can put a heap of pressure on and really put Adam to the test. This time it's definitely not going to get through though. Yeah.
It's a lot though.
Yeah, all in and snap call by Carmen. So a combo draw for Alex against.
There we go. So he's got combo draw. You mean he's got a straight and a flush opportunities.
It's a big pot as well. 2.4 million. It's a huge pot.
Second hand, huge
yeah,
pot.
2 out of the 3 pots have been enormous.
Or a third hand, you're right, third hand. So you can see up the top.
If he finds a spade or a jack, he's
Yep.
going to be overwhelming chip leader, and it's going to be the Linsky show, I think.
Here it is. He doesn't.
A huge pot for Carmen.
Also, those who
Perhaps if he keeps going like this, Adam's nickname might be Get It. Come and get it.
That's a good one.
8.99.
Yeah, so that takes Adam into second now. Linsky's still fourth in chips, so not I mean, it's a big dent, but not hasn't left him short. The benefit of winning that pot with a king 4 off is that when he loses a pot like that, he still hasn't done huge damage to his stack. He still has 50 big blinds. Yeah,
And probably, not a bad thing that he had to show there too, because it wasn't a bluff clearly, and people out there were probably thinking, well, he's only playing cards.
Yeah.
So
it will. I mean, he has an interesting seat because he has the chip leader on his right. So he has a very good seat because if the chip leader doesn't play as aggressively, it's kind of on him. Second in chips, that he can really get after it, which obviously he did do in the 2 of those first 3 pots. Unfortunately, that one didn't work out, but it might slow him down a little bit. Now he's more towards the middle of the pack. He's obviously his risk reward slightly larger, so maybe tighten up a little.
I'm going to assume that Alex and Adam know each other very well and have played against each other a fair bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not just in Australia either. I think they've obviously all both play across the globe, so they would definitely played in Australia, probably in previous Goliaths, other 2.5Ks and sort of larger blind events. Not the greatest seat for a chip leader on a 2.5K final table, I would say. Having Alex Linsky and Adam Carmen to your left. It's, having a chip lead on the FT of a Goliath is a dream come true, but that's not the dream come true of seat draws, I'd say.
Big Sam picks up jacks in the cutoff. It's a little raise to 65.
Yeah, I think Sam opened slightly larger than the rest of the table, just from what we saw yesterday.
Yeah,
More of
usually he
the
does.
old school feel approach opens
Yeah.
to the 3x. Also creates like an interesting dynamic as well.
And when you look around the table, you're getting that, aren't you? You're getting well, look, there's a vast amount of experience. There's probably no, inexperienced players on this table, but a spread of styles and ages, and probably travel experience as well. There's guys who, as you say, have played a fair bit overseas here. Some guys who exclusively Australia, and poker styles do vary overseas as well. You play a little bit different. So yeah, it should be a really good mix.
Creates a really interesting dynamic. I mean, watching the really high stakes where essentially solve the sizes pre, and it's pretty much everybody opens the same size, so pre-flop's not as interesting. But it actually adds a different dimension when somebody has a slightly different open. The common open ratio, I say, is like min raise to 2.4, 2.5.
Yep.
So when someone opens to 3, 3.5, it creates an interesting dynamic, and 3 bets are therefore larger, and it just creates a bit more to think about when you're sat at the table.
So Will, probably your last opportunity to spruik the satellite. If people are in the area, if you're in Brighton, if you're in Brisbane.
Brighton's a long way away.
Brighton
if you're in Brighton, you better run.
Depends which Brighton. If you're over at your Brighton, you're down south of London, you're probably going to struggle.
Brighton Lassans, you have a chance.
Brighton Lassans, get in the car.
Yeah.
If you're in Brisbane, Sunshine Coast even, you can probably hop in the car and get here in time.
So yeah, 3 p.m. start, 3:50 buy-in, and it's 3.3K seats guaranteed to our API main event. And as I just said at the start when I jumped on, it is now open to any flight. So yeah, 8 seats guaranteed, 3:50 buy-in, it starts 3 p.m. Late registration 5:20. So yeah, myself and Lauren, who run the Poker Palace, are both here. So we'll be here, and there'll be actually there's a couple of dealers that work for us regularly who are working at the APT this week, and they're going to be coming up to help us. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So come up and win a seat for cheap and win your chance to win a prize pool of hopefully over $1 million.
Lauren just walks in on cue, as you mentioned her.
Come and do some work, is what she's going to say.
Yeah. Well, you must be expecting it to go well because Lauren actually covered our breakfast this morning, which was very nice of you. Thank you.
I wasn't getting my wallet out. Money's like a prisoner in my wallet, as they say. So, but yeah, I more than likely come back later when this is this could be a long final table.
This
so
is
I'll
getting
definitely
juicy.
jump back in after the satellite. But yeah, enjoy and hopefully I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for having me in again.
Take care. Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much. I'll see you later.
Hey.
2 checks.
No, I'm not.
How's it all going?
No, I'm final table. This one.
You're finished today.
And then get him. That's prime. Yeah, I know, yeah. I was just thinking, exactly the same thing, you got perfect time.
9 bets, 65,000. 2 fold.
You're going to play the 1100 Omaha?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. That's really the only reason I was at the series.
I was thinking, yeah, that's the prime for you.
Fold. 5 fold. Six raise, 40,000.
So, an apt time for the CEO, Josh Monk, to sit down with me for a few minutes just to talk about how things are going here as Jared picks up aces.
There you go. How are you, Harv?
Good, mate.
Good morning.
Very good.
How are you? Very well.
Well, good afternoon. Feels
Good
like morning
afternoon,
to us.
Yeah,
We have
it's
some
true.
incredibly late finishes here, and last night was another one of them. So, early afternoon, definitely feels like morning to us here.
There you go.
So Jared, on a pretty short stack, picks up aces here. 3 bets. Sam's got chips. Is he going to come along with King Queen?
I think he might here with his chip stack. He's got 2.18 mil. I think he might just flat here, see a flop.
It's been all action. It's only, I think it's the 5th hand, and we saw a huge pot 2 hands ago.
Yep.
Alex losing a massive pot to Adam.
Yeah, I like this call here. Just going to flat, see a flop. See if he can outplay his opponent post-flop if he hits something half decent. The ace is miles out in front, as you can see, 85% favourite. Here we go to the flop. It's 5-jack-3, 2 clubs down. Sam does have a backdoor clubs draw and a backdoor straight draw. But Jared, as you can see, a 95% favourite here. Well out in front with the aces. Sam's going to check it back to the action on Jared.
It's interesting here, you know, it's a smallish pot. Does Jared check back and try and get Sam to hang himself, or does he just bet here to take it?
I think
He's
he's probably
gonna
going to bet fold here, to be honest with you. I can't imagine Sam's going to flat here.
70K. Quarter hot bet.
He's going to flat. He's going to just
Go.
peel one off here, see if he can pick up a draw. Disaster card would be a king or a queen
Well,
here.
yeah,
Because it makes him a bit
it's
committed.
exactly what he's thinking about. 2 overs to the board, and he hits his king.
It's a king. Ah, dear. Me and you, we're doing well in the comp box, mate. We're picking them left, right and centre.
And we're not watching this on delay. I mean, we are on, as you're watching it, we haven't seen any of these cards, of
That's
course.
it.
So poor Sam's hit the king and is probably jumping up and down inside.
Worst card in the deck for him, as you can possibly imagine. He sees hit the king there. A very decent kick at the queen. Now got a decision to make what to do. As you can see, he's still miles behind.
Very, very important hand for Jared, who's only got 375 behind, so...
It's less than the size of the pot. He's got a bet for value here. He's going to bet 225. Back to Sam, who has picked up that top pair on the board on the turn. It's very likely he might actually jam here for the rest of Jared's remaining stack. He's only got 150 left.
That's
most of the time
logical.
he would have the best hand. Yeah,
and that's
most
logical
of the time.
that he'll push in.
Yep, correct.
And that's for two reasons. The first one is he's not risking a heap, obviously, by pushing in over the top with a 150 just behind.
He still has equity to win the hand. You know, the hand's
And
not over
that's
yet.
the- and
You
I
know,
was
he's
about to
13%.
say, that's
he
the
can
other-
hit king,
yeah.
queen. You know, he does have those 4 outs that he
Yeah.
can still win the pot.
Yeah. I'm convinced he thinks he's got it. I mean, he's not putting Jared on aces. So,
Just going to flat here. I like this. I don't mind this play, to be honest with you.
yeah. Well,
He doesn't want to overcommit to this pot, the extra 150, so he can just peel one off at the river here. And if he hits two pair, then it's game over. That's a very bad card, actually, for Sam, because it brings in that flush draw. Check, check, it goes. Shows the king, queen. That's
so
not
he
going to be
saved
enough.
himself 150, and you're right. It's a good play. I mean, he was always going to commit when he had the king, but he saved himself 150
There you
by
go.
not jamming it all in.
And that's the reason why he's on the final table and I'm not, mate, because I
Mate,
jam over the top there and just try and run it out.
Both. You and me.
I'm thinking I've hit top pair on the turn. I'm only really beaten by, you know, a 2 pair or a set or whatever the case may be. Let's just run it. Or an over pair like Jared had. So, yeah, that's where I make mistakes in the game.
Let's talk some bigger picture. The CEO of the Australian Poker Tour. We had some great talent in here with me and together last night, and all top players very positive about the Australian Poker Tour, and some great stuff on the chat too about people watching this and really enjoying it. Been a lot of changes in a short period of time.
Positive changes.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody is, you know, welcoming it quite warmly. So, as you can see, it's come out in spades, obviously, out here at Eaton's Hill Hotel. Great venue, great place to come. About 50 minutes from the Gold Coast. You can drive down, or it's about, what, 45 minutes from Brisbane, give or take. It's right sort of in between the both of them. We've got every event you could possibly imagine here. We've got short-handed poker, we've got 6 maxes, we've got satellites going, we've got the bigger buy-ins, we've got the smaller buy-ins, we've got the Saddies going at $55. So, you know, if you're in the area and you want to come down and play some cards, come down to Eaton's Hill. That's where we're at until Sunday. Give yourself a chance to win some of that big prize money. Anyway, it was raised on the button by Ace-10 in the hijack by Dipper and called by Paul in the big blind. Dipper's going to C-bet here for 25k, and Paul's got absolutely none of that board, so he's going to put that straight in the bin. Let's move on to the next hand.
So we had the chubby against the Dipper there. So,
we might do the nicknames today, huh?
yeah,
What do you reckon?
Yeah, we actually were just talking about that, myself and Will. He said, what's the best nickname you've seen on the poker table? And I'm actually struggling to come up with too many.
Sure.
I've got, you know, some people in the workforce that have got some fantastic nicknames. I did say to Will, the sensor light, a bloke who only works when you walk past.
Yeah. Love it. Beautiful. That's great.
And wheelbarrow. I know a few wheelbarrows. They only work when they're pushed.
Yeah. Sure. Very good, Harv. Very good. I like that. So those who are watching, please feel free to pop in anything you'd like into the chat, and we'll do our very best to answer those concerns. This is the Goliath final table. $2,500 buy-in. Blinds here are 10 and 20 with a 20k big blind ante.
One raise, 45.
Folded around to the hijack here with Michael. He's got the Queen 10 suited in hearts.
3 fold.
He's going to elect to raise it up to make it 45. He's gone fold, back round to the pocket sixes of Adam, who's in the big blind.
You like the river?
It's got 2.4 mil. Big stack here.
You donk jams? What do you do? You put it in?
Unfortunately, just the way we're wired up here, Josh, you're not hearing the table talk, but I am. And there's a lot of talk here. I think it's about the last hand. Jared and Sam having a bit of a chat, obviously leaving Adam out of that conversation while he contemplates what he's going to do here. He looks up at us. Can't give you any advice, Adam, sorry.
He's got to put me on that particular hand for him to shove
Spoken about this for days, that sort of mid-small pair and how you play it. I think Adam's playing it pretty obviously, which is all in.
I really like this play here. Just puts the maximum amount of pressure on. Got the pocket sixes. Happy to race it off if he's against 2 overs. Queen 10 straight to the bin by Matty Maddox. Michael Maddox, I should say.
You talk about buy-ins. 3 of the events here, I suppose, you know, that we've played so far, which would be headline events.
Yep.
That'll be the Hashem Deep Stack, the Grind, and this one, the Goliath. We've probably, be fair to say, maybe a quarter to 1/3 over the entries that you may have anticipated for each of those events.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've really done extremely well here at Eatons Hill, and you know, we've marketed it well. We've got our name out there. We've come up here. We've put on a good show. People have obviously come in droves to come out to Eatons Hill and support us, and that's shown in the participation rates in these tournaments with the numbers. We projected what we thought we might get, and you're 100% correct, Harvey. We've got probably 25%, anywhere sort of between 20 and 25, maybe even up to 30% overlay in the players that we anticipated would come. So it's been a very successful series.
Well, this one, a couple of days ago, I remember sitting with Joe Hashem, who became Eskimo Joe Hashem yesterday with the blanket on. And apparently he's not feeling too well today after sitting in the cold. And then the humidity outside is incredible. So you're going from
one temperature
to the other.
next. Yeah, it's very hard to regulate the temperature, obviously. We do our best to do it, but we're obviously capped by what...
Especially here where the humidity and the heat is just so incredibly high. But yeah, Joe... I remember sitting a couple of days ago, and Joe was, you know, hope we can get to 100. Hope we can finish up with 118 runners in this $2,500 buy-in, which is a fantastic result. 218 entries for the grind, just again, amazing result. And then you know, it started with the Hashem Deep Stack, where I know you were saying personally probably got 80 more entries into that. Then
I think it got 120 over what we
120.
anticipated.
How's that? Yeah, I mean that's just fantastic. Poker is alive and well, and we say it so often with the changes here at the Australian Poker Tour. It's primarily about promoting this game. It's not about cutting other people out, or we want to work with every poker organisation to make sure that the schedules work. People get the chance to play as much as they like. We just had Will in here from the APO promoting his event, and we've got a satellite coming up later on for an APO event. So there's definitely a sense of community and solo purpose here of pushing this game, and I know you'll have some really exciting news soon on schedules coming up. We're going to be talking Adelaide hopefully pretty soon. There's been a lot of talk behind the scenes about Adelaide.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we're just finalising those details. We can't release them yet because we're still trying to confirm those details. But yeah, Adelaide is definitely something that's been suggested as potentially the next venue for us. We're just going through the formalities of making sure that all our I's and T's are dotted and so on and so forth. But we'll release that out.
Had a question yesterday about Perth. We have a chance to come to Perth. So I'm sure that's somewhere on the agenda, and I know, as Tony said here, on the broadcast a couple of times, while the laws make it very difficult for us to do something like this in Melbourne, we are obviously looking at how we can, because we'd love to have an APT event in Melbourne. There's been a real vacuum since the end of the Aussie Millions 100% tournament poker down in Melbourne.
Just get back to the action here real quickly. Matty Maddox is, sorry, Michael. I keep calling him Matty. There's so many Matts in the room.
It could be your nickname
Maddox
for him.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Maddox. Maddox has moved it all in here with the ace-queen, and unfortunately ran into Adam's ace-king. And, disaster flop, obviously, for the ace-queen. But he has picked up that gut shot.
That's right.
He can make the straight there with the 10 ball. He's also got backdoor spades. The turn card of the 8 of hearts does not help him whatsoever. He needs a 10 here in the 10 only. He's got 3 outs. One of them was folded pre. And the river card is the 6 of spades. And Maddox will be eliminated here. Ace Queen versus Ace King. And he'll be out in 9th.
Thanks.
Talking about those satties that you were just talking about before there, we do have a $220 buy-in sati for, it's currently on at the moment, for the high stakes shot clock that starts today at 4 o'clock. That's a $2,200 buy-in. You start with a 40K start stack. There's unlimited re-entries, late registrations until level 10, 30-minute levels, and it is a fully dealt tournament. So if you want to come down around 4 o'clock, we do have that $2,200 buy-in high stakes shot clock event. That is a no limit hold'em. Shot clock gives you 20 seconds to act on your hand. Once the action has been, once the action is on you. We also have the Brisbane Champs Fight C. So if you want to come down for the Brisbane Champs Fight C event, that's on tonight at 6 o'clock, $750 buy-in. I'll give you access to, pardon me, I'm a little bit parched there. I just had to take a mid-sentence water.
Talking about the humidity and the heat
exactly
here.
Right. The Brisbane Champs, that's a Fight C. That's on today at 6 o'clock. $750 buy-in there. You start with a 30K start stack. You get a couple of re-entries, late registration till level 8, 30-minute levels. Then we've got the teams event. That's one of my all-time favourites, the teams event. That's at 6:30, and then the Friday night ladies event at 7:30. So it's all happening here on Friday.
You've missed one thing there, Josh.
Hit me.
Apparently the pub goes absolutely mental here on a Friday night. So I didn't get here for last Friday, but the first thing I heard was, oh my God, Friday night was nuts.
Sure.
So if you like to party as well as to play poker, I think it's a great night to come down here.
You get the 2-for-1 deal.
You get the 2-for-1 deal. It's
So I believe the action here was a raise and a call pre-flop. Obviously Adam's way out in front here with the ace-king off. It's been checked around to the ace-king here. Adam's just going to see bet for 25. Action back on Michael. He calls. Pop a 4-4-10. Hasn't really helped anyone. Turn cut jack ball. If you don't mind, Michael just picks up that 3-outer on the turn. Does pick up some outs though for the ace-king, the big slick here. He can win the hand obviously with a king or a queen. The ace is not going to help. Gone check. The river's a 3. Ace-jack will get the job done.
bet's 125,000.
Adam just trying to figure out here how often he connects with the board, his opponent here on a 4-4-10 Jack 3 board. So ace high could be good here. Combinatorically, probably, I don't know, maybe 10% of the time. So he has elected to just fold this hand.
As a recreational player, Josh, I'm so impressed with the disciplined folds.
Yeah.
I sit here and think, it's an ace, it's a pair of 4s, it's only 125, but that's such a disciplined fold, and we're seeing them over and over again. It's real good, but I suppose the other side of it is players aren't going to get too out of order, I wouldn't have thought at this stage. If you're betting there, that's...
Yeah, sure.
Probably got something, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they've made it to the final table. A lot of these players have played with each other before, so you obviously you can pick up on some tells. They might have been playing on the same table on the outer tables out there. They've picked up on a bit of this and that, so they get a feel for each other's play, and obviously they can detect from there how to play the hand.
Of course, having said that, Alex went for a massive bluff, which got through first hand. So
there you go. Well, rest my case then.
So, but that is Alex.
There you go.
So they know each other. I mean, I was saying to Will, a lot of these guys would not only have watched each other, but would have played against each other a hell of a lot, so they know their game. And we've also got a terrific mix of that sort of young, mathematical
geniuses,
and a few of these old school guys. We just saw a couple, a couple of those guys there.
Yep, spot on.
Dipper and Chubby, because you don't get nicknames Dipper and Chubby if you're in your mid-20s. No one will call you that.
No, for sure. Unless you're a football player. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Just getting back to the action here. Dipper here is elected to call. Pre-flop, he's flopped 2 pairs. And Dennis has picked up bottom pair with a straight draw. Turn does bring the flush draw in. Dipper's got to bet out his 2 pair. 88% favourite here, so only can really lose with a 10 or a jack. There's only 4 of them left alive in the deck. The diamond might slow down the action. The 7 won't help, so Dipper's got the check mark next to his name with the top 2 pair on this board. And we'll continue to bet it. Can't imagine Dipper's going to, Dennis is going to call here with 3rd best pair on the board. But I've been wrong a few times when I thought something might happen. And like I said, Dennis will just lay down that 10-9 and Dip will take down that pot of 147,000 chips. He needs them. As you can see, he's 3rd from the bottom there. Currently sitting at 9th place in chips. As you can see in the chat, we have put up the total prize pool and the payout structure. We'll probably be pinning that at some point. So that you guys following at home know the action and the payouts and all of that. And again, if you've got any questions, please just put them in the chat. We'll do our very best to be able to answer them for you.
Just thought we'd have a quick look at how well you're looking here at the moment, mate. You're looking gorgeous. Harvey Silver and Josh Monk, the CEO of the Australian Poker Tour. That's us here. If you were asking on the chat who is commentating, so you're obviously hearing us. We're not here for our looks, but maybe you. You're a good-looking gentleman, very good-looking gentleman.
What about yourself? Come on.
This is our little commentary booth, and we do need to let everyone know, as we do pretty much every hour or so, we're watching this as you are on the stream. This is on a half-hour delay. It's another level of security here. We have no idea what's happening out there live. Everyone behind the scenes is on the same delay, so we don't communicate anything out that's happening live.
That's correct.
Josh, we also ban the players from watching the stream at the table even though it is half-hour delay. Sure. If you want to catch up on the stream, hop out during one of the breaks and ask your mates or put it on there, but not at the table.
Adam here's flopped an absolute monster. Sorry to cut you off here, but he's flopped an absolute monster. He's flopped the bottom set here against Alex Linsky, who has flopped top pair with the queen kicker and backdoor diamonds. There might be a little bit of fireworks here, I'd imagine here, Harvey. Those 4s are very, very camouflaged on this particular hand. It's got to go check, check, round to the pocket 4s. He's got about 6,200. Sorry, 62,000, I should say. And the action's back on Alex, who's trying to deduce what to do with his ace-queen. I'd imagine he's probably going to just peel one off here, which he does. Very hard to fold ace-queen, obviously, here on the board, so here we go. Turn card brings that diamond. He does pick up the diamonds draw, Alex. He can now win with any of those diamonds remaining in the deck. However, the pocket 4s are still a massive favourite here. 84%, as you can see, in the bottom left-hand side of your screen.
3 calls. Heads up. 3 checks.
It's been checked back over to Adam. Just trying to figure out how much he wants to bet. He needs to bet enough to be able to protect against potentially the flush coming in, or the 4 flush, even though the flush is actually already down, but the 4 flush coming in where he could potentially lose. He's going to check it back, right? Okay. He's going to trick it up a little bit. 5 doesn't bring that 4 card flush down on the board, so very likely the pocket 4s are the best hand here. Got a funny feeling Alex might actually bet here, believe it or not. It's likely he thinks he might have the best hand. He's a very strong player, Alex. I've seen him play numerous times. He knows what he's doing, trust me. Well chiseled human being, very good poker player. Unfortunately, in this hand, he's got no chance of winning the pot. He has bet, I believe. Looks like 75,000. It's bet 100,000. Action back on Adam. that set of fours. Guarantee you he's going nowhere.
Three bets, 100,000.
Had numerous discussions with players up here in commentary. One of those, Josh, has been what pocket pair do you think gets turned into trips most?
Oh.
And they say fours. Like the guys,
Right, sure.
So many guys say pocket fours are a great starting hand because I see them turn into trips so often. So that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got. I've got a friend, and he's put in the race here. Just before I answer that question, he's put in the race here to 465k. Like I said, with those pocket fours, he knows that that's most likely the best hand on this board. It's only really beaten by a flush. Can't imagine anybody's called here with a 6-7 off. So, unless it's the 6-7 of diamonds. So Alex has got a decision to make here whether or not his top pair with the third best kicker, second best kicker is good enough to call this raise. It's going to cost him roughly another 365k, which represents about a quarter to a third of his stack remaining.
Players in the abyss freeze out. You start making your way back to your tables, please.
Brenton is 100% correct.
Sorry. That's me. A set.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll have a look at that audio. I mean, we're getting it live, but maybe it's just coming out on a little bit of a delay. I'll have a look at that for you as well, as Alex considers his options here. What's he thinking, Josh?
It's just trying to deduce, you know, how often he thinks he might be in front here with the ace-queen. He might have a soul read on the player. He's just trying to figure out whether or not he's got the odds to call, how often he's good. You know, it's a lot of things going through his head, and what percentage of the chips he needs to put into the pot represents of his stack.
Makes, in the end, a really good fold.
Good fold, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's not going to risk another 365k there with top pair and second best kicker there on that particular board. It is a relatively wet board, so he's made the right decision and folded.
Three folds.
I think it's an interesting question, that one, about when you're sitting at the table, what pair turns into a set most. It is logical that it would be a smaller pair, isn't it? Because, what is it?
It's all the same odds. I mean, you get dealt a pocket pair, I think it's once every 220, I think it's 220 to 1. Yeah. You get dealt a pocket pair, and regardless of what the pocket pair is, you should be hitting a set the same percentage as every other pocket pair that you get.
All right, let me give you an alternate view on that. This is not mathematical at all, because yours is completely mathematical.
Yeah, absolutely.
If a lot of aces, kings, high cards come out in the deal, players are likely to either play those cards. There might be more smaller cards left in the deck, so the chances of you hitting trips with a smaller card is. Does that make any sense, what I'm saying?
It doesn't technically, Harvey, but I'll try and word it for the viewers.
Isn't it a little bit like, you know, counting the deck in blackjack, that, you know, if the big cards come out?
No, it's not like a count like a +1, -1 and neutral cards. No, it doesn't work like that. All the cards are obviously unseen. So your chance of hitting a set with any pocket pair in your hand is exactly the same as any other pocket pair hitting the set. The percentages are the same.
I know from a maths perspective, I totally understand.
So
there you go. Yeah. So here you go. That's sort of what I'm saying, Brendan. I'm trying to actually articulate that in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
This is another good hand brewing here.
It's not going to help here, but it does chop the pot between both these players here, the aces and the tens, playing the king as the kicker on this particular board. Hence why there's a double check mark or double dollar sign next to their name. They both have exactly the same hand. Best 5-card hand is aces and tens with the king kick. Check by Alex. Back around to Dipper. I imagine Dipper's probably going to check back here, I'd imagine. And he does. Shows the ace-queen. They're just going to chop it up.
So I'm going to get back to that because I don't want to sound like a fool on the stream.
Sure.
That is exactly what I was trying to say, what Brenton has said in 3 sentences I've said in about 15 minutes. So it's probably not your chance of getting a set, it's just how many sets you see come out. And he's exactly right. You see lower sets because if you've got aces or kings and you know someone's calling with an ace and et cetera, as opposed to...
Sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, combinatorically at the same time, there's people are going to be folding 4s and 2s and 6s and 4s of hands that have, you know, that are poor, that don't have much equity.
Yeah.
They're going to be folding those hands pre as well.
Absolutely.
Which means those cards are also out of the deck, which means...
So we're both right. What you're saying is there's no more chance.
Exactly.
Except you'll see it more just because of the circumstances of...
Correct.
You know, exactly.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah, Lucky River.
I'll have to bring up... Look how much feedback we get on that on a topic
Everybody's
like
got
that.
their own
But I
opinion
love
on
it.
it, yeah,
No, but
but
I do. I love that, you know, you can come up with something that, you know, is, oh, has anyone really thought about this before?
The raw math, put it this way, the raw math of it is you get delta pocket pair a certain percentage of the time. And you should be able to hit a set with that or whatever the case may be, a certain percentage of the time. And that doesn't change regardless of which pocket pair you get.
Absolutely.
I think there's a bit of memory bias for some players, obviously, who see more sets, lower pair sets, just because of how the action of poker works. However, the mathematical equation is they are all equally equal chances, exactly, of it occurring.
I suppose it just came up. It might have been Didier or Josh or both were in here, and I think pocket fours hit a set a couple of times, and they both said that's the starting hand that we see hit a set most, and they both said the same hand, which was pocket four. So just thought that was interesting.
You do get a little bit of memory bias, though. You always remember the times, you know, in poker, and you always remember the times that you get bad beaten, but most people can't remember the times that they've run pure. Me personally, and I've got sort of a running, you know, thing with a guy back in Melbourne that we reckon the pocket nines hit the most.
Yep.
There's always a 9.
Yeah.
So you know, I probably
I would have said
nines
9 too. As a recreational player, I would have said I see 9s hit a set most. But anyway, nice to throw up a discussion topic that gets a bit of feedback. That's good.
That's exactly perfect. Whatever the case
Back to
may
what's
be.
actually happening here. So we do have 8 left. We lost Michael Maddox off the table this morning, 9th, and 8 players left out of our fantastic 118 starting field. And
8 left.
8 left. Up to the top, over 70 grand for the winner. This is going to be a bit of a grind. We don't expect this to finish in the next hour or so. We could be seeing another 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours worth of play.
I agree with that. I think I know that Brenton's in the chat here. Hi to Brenton. He's actually keeping us on our toes here a little bit, to be perfectly honest. I think he says here 7s are his favourite sets. I think that's got probably something to do with the pokies over in Las Vegas where you go to 7-7-7. It does look pretty, I must admit. I think it's almost more pretty when it comes out on the board, when sometimes you flop 7-7-7 on the flop and everybody says, you know, jackpot or whatever the case may be. But I agree with you a little bit on that, Brenton. It's probably one of the more sexier kind of sets that you can hit for sure. So anyway, back to the action here in the small blind. Chubby's decided just to call 12K in the small blind with the Baccarat, Queen 9, natural 9 versus the 9-8. The board does come down to King, Deuce, Jack, 2 diamonds. Chubby does pick up the gut shot 10 ball to make it straight. Be a disaster card actually if it hits, because it would give Adam the up and down draw. If it does, then he might continue, especially considering he does have a dime in his hand. But it goes bet fold. Next hand, let's go.
A lot of chat still going on that. Yep, higher pairs. Yeah, you probably don't see them as often because you are often all in pre-flop.
I'll tell you something, Sportelli. He's a great bloke. He's very boisterous. You know, we might even try and figure out how to get you in here, Adrian. You know, if we can make sure we can restrict certain aspects of what you talk about. I'm pretty sure we can get you in here, have a bit of a chat, have a bit of a laugh. Now, you got that big personality. Everybody knows who you are. I'm a big fan, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
so
love to get you in. I think the mix in the commentary too is, I mean,
always important.
I'm no poker expert, trying to, you know, as I say, recreational player. I've played for years and years, but, you know, love to watch a table like this where I'm learning every hand. I'm impressed by the reads. I'm impressed by the calculations that are clearly going on, and I'm mostly impressed by the balls that some of the players show with so much money on the line. It's fantastic.
Sure.
Today raise 52,000. C9 fold, C2 fold.
Anyway, it's been raised and called pre-flop. Michael here with the King Queen. Miles out in front, 94% favourite. Game Sam, who's absolutely whiffed this board with the Motown, the Jackson 5. It's just going to go bet fold.
Adrian, can you explain that? I missed it about the fours. We're not going back there. Sorry.
Yeah, we've gone back and forth there, Adrian. I know Adrian very well. Lovely guy. Got a lot of time for him. Actually, my partner's dad, believe it or not. So thanks for being in the chat there, Adrian.
Okay, just very quickly, it was which pair do you see turned into a set most? That was the question. So fours seem to be one that in the commentary box
most people think that they see more often.
Yeah, they see more often.
For sure.
And I absolutely agree with the small pair turning into a set too, because most people on the table don't expect that, and that's when you get paid off most, because when you do hit that set, the betting, you know, against you tends to probably be a little higher than if they think you might be holding a pair of jacks and a jack comes out, or etc. So,
well, it comes back to what you were talking about, I think, a couple of days ago, Harv. You're talking about the pocket jacks being the most difficult hand to play. Some people find that hand to be the most difficult. Now, you know, there's multiple reasons for why that might be the case, but yeah, it's kind of similar to the idea that people see a certain hand occur more often than others, and then they get a predisposition to that being fact when sometimes it's not exactly the case.
I brought up that exact question with J-Mac, with Josh, the winner of the grind, and you know what his answer was?
What was that?
If you don't know how to play jacks, you haven't played enough poker. He said, I will take jacks all day long.
There you go. Sure, I like it. I like it. J-Mac's a good bloke. I mean, I spent some time with him over the last couple of days. Obviously, he won the grind event for 53,000. He's been celebrating a little bit, jumped up into the 5K yesterday we had on. And
yeah, what happened there? That was a sort of a late call. I think Najim was probably...
And he won it.
Yeah,
the guy just wins everything. Yeah,
but he was the one who initiated. He was running around trying to recruit people to play a 5K.
That's true. I was part of those conversations, and we, you know, look, here at the APT, we try to accommodate the best we possibly can, give everybody an equal opportunity to be able to play these events. If and when we can have dealers or TDs be able to facilitate requests from players, we kind of try to do that. So yeah, we came up with a bit of a sort of a format, and it gauged some interest, and sort of a 5K game got up yesterday, which was good.
Was that a mixed game? What did they finish up playing?
They played a rotation. So one rotation of PLO, one rotation of No Limit Hold'em. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I believe that it was kind of one, maybe pushing out to 2 tables, or with alternates and unlimited rebuys and whatever the case may be. I believe that I believe that it probably ran for about 3 or 4 hours. The blind structure was pretty turboed. It was 25-minute levels. And, yeah, you say Naj in the chat, you know straight away he's the person who won the event. So it's a little ad hoc things we do down here for our players when we can. It's not always the case, but when we can, we do our best to facilitate.
just another example of listening to the players and, as you say, trying to facilitate it when you can. There aren't always spare dealers, spare tables, spare time to do all of that, but I can tell you from the perspective where I was watching it all happen from the outside, that from suggestion to sitting down and playing was pretty darn quick. Everyone just got into gear and did it. This would be a great idea. We haven't got a 5K here. Let's throw one together. And yeah, it was terrific. There's a lot of noise from up there in the mezzanine late last night too, because I think the prize must have been pretty decent. I don't know even what it was.
I think he won 40,000
Naj
and 17,000 for second, or whatever the case may be. Just that action there. He's just raised it up with the ace king. No takers. He just took down that pot, Linsky. So next hand, I see Bradley. Bradley's one of our dealers here. He's the big man that you see on the feature table. One of my all-time faves. He's a great bloke. Just saying here, Josh Mack and Adrian Sportelli in the commentary box together would be a dream. I might see if I can try and put that together for you, Brad. Can't guarantee it, but I'll see what I can do. Anyway, back to the action here. Chubby's raised it up to 50K. Folded all the way around to the dealer button. Jared there with the natural 9. He's decided to fold. Fold, back around to Dipper. He's got the king deuce off in the big blind.
50. C4 raise, 50,000.
I think he might have asked him, because you can get the feed off the table, how much he had left, but not sure. He's just decided to call the 26K, and off to a flop we go. Ace 9-5. Nobody said anything. King out in front at the moment, but it's most likely going to go check, bet, fold. And that's all she wrote, exactly like that.
300.
If a little bit of a play with the audio, if you are getting some sort of a delay and you're watching, let us know on the chat. We'll keep working on it, but through the headphones here it sounds
perfect
okay.
for me. Yeah, it sounds perfect for me.
Unfortunately, I don't think you're hearing as much table chat as I am. We might have to swap headphones so you can talk about what these guys are actually talking about. But talking about Josh Mack, he's very keen to come in and commentate this final table, so I've got no doubt you'll hear his voice a little bit later as it gets down to maybe 4 or 5 players.
Just a little recap, today's schedule for those making their way down here to the Eaton's Hill Hotel. We do have that high stakes shot clock on today at 4 o'clock. That's a $2,200 buy-in. 40K start stack, unlimited re-entries, late registration to level 10, 30-minute levels, and it is a fully dealer dealt event. Brisbane Champs, Flight C, that's at 6 o'clock tonight, $750 buy-in. Start with a 30K stack, 2 re-entries, late registration to level 8, 30-minute levels, dealer dealt. Do have the teams event. Teams event, actually one of my all-time favourite events to play because I like playing any type of team sports. That's a $300 entry, 60K start stack, 2 re-entries, late registration to a level 8, 15-minute levels, and that is a self-dealt event. And then the Friday night ladies event, that's at 7:30, $250 buy-in, 30K start stack, 1 re-entry, late registration to a level 8, 15-minute levels, and it is fully dealer dealt. Let's get back to the action here. Harvey's just jumped out of the saddle for a little bit, so I'm going to just try and call this cold by myself. Some action pre-flop. Sorry, I was just reading out the schedule, so I'm not sure exactly what happened pre-flop, but I'm just going to call it from here anyway. Bet for 75K here on the 10-8 5 board with the Jack 10 and Michael. It's flop top pair with Jack kicker. He's behind to Dippo, who does have top pair with the Queen kicker. There's an open-ended straight draw for Dennis with backdoor hearts. Ace-King was folded on the flop here. So Dipper elected to call. It's gone back around to Dennis, who raised it up to 300K with a Jack-9 up and down draw. The action back here on Mike. Trying to figure out what to do here with the Jack-10. He's in a pretty awkward spot. I'd probably lay this down here. I can't possibly imagine he thinks this is the best hand. Although he has flop top pair, but as you can see in his facial expressions there, he's kind of a little bit perplexed. But very likely he's going to put this in the bin. Back around to Dipper here. He's now thinking the same thing, I'd imagine. what to do. Craig wants to get Wahesh in here. Simon Wahesh, he's a very good friend of mine. Craig, absolutely. I sort of spoke to him a couple of days ago. And I said, you know, if there's ever a possibility of him and me getting into the box together, I'd love that. So he's been prepped, ready to go. Dipper's moved this all in here with top pair with the queen kicker and been snapped off actually by Dennis for the remainder with the up and down draw here. So it's Jack 9 versus the queen 10. At the moment, Dennis has got 7 outs. Hit that 7 to complete the straight. That would most likely just finish the hand off, or it actually would finish the hand off. Jack also can get him there.
All in call.
Brenton, the answer to that question is just players on the feature table, not watching the stream on the feature table. The other tables they can, just on the feature table. Queen on the turn, top 2 pair, and does make that straight actually there for Dennis on the turn. So he'll take it down with the nut straight. And Dipper straight out there. He's just hit the 2 pair on the turn. It's just absolutely dead to the Jack 9 that just binks it on the turn. Dipper out in 8th.
Never in doubt. You would have preferred the 7 last. I thought it was just going to come like 2, 3 or 5. That's how I won one hand yesterday.
So now there's like a little bit of a break. Yeah, just what I was saying before, Brenton. It's only for the feature table. From my understanding, I might have to double check that. It's just for production value, and we don't want people viewing what happened 30 minutes prior, just live on stream. Trying to do the best production we can here at Edens Hill and for all of our APT events. So that's kind of a bit of the answer. Chubby here's picked up the King Jack off, raises it to 50 thou. Going to Jared in the hijack. He's got ace queen off. 910k stack. Blinds here 12, 24 with a 24k big blind ante. Jared just going to almost certainly put the raise in here. Just figuring out how much to raise it to. He's just min clicked it back for 100 it looks like. 125, pardon me. Michael with a king queen off. Just going to put that straight in the bin. Background.
2 fold, 3 fold.
Alex folds. Background to Chubby. Chubby's going to flat. Thanks, Brad. Really appreciate those positive comments. I'm trying my best here. I'm not a professional poker commentator. I've got other jobs here at the APT, so I appreciate any feedback, whether or not it be bad or good. We're only trying to better our product here, so appreciate the positive vibes in the chat. Anyway, Paul called the raise pre-flop. The flop came 7-5-6 with 2 hearts down. Turn does come the ace of spades, I should say, picking up top pair with the second best kicker for Jared, who obviously has that big check mark next to his name because there's no cards left in the deck that Paul Chubby can win with. It's going to go bet fold almost certainly, and that's exactly what happens. He just bets 100k on the turn, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I was praying I had my 6-7.
For those of you at home and watching, we are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. This is the Edens Hill Hotel final table, the grandest of all events, the Goliath. It's a $2,500 buy-in. This is the final table. We've got 7 remaining from 118 players that participated in this event. Harvey Silva just back in the box. He had to duck out for a little bit. He's back in the action now.
Well, he ducked out because I'm trying to find out if there is a delay on this audio. I can't seem to see that there is, but maybe if you are hearing a delay, you might want to just refresh your browser because it seems to be going out in real time. Let us know if you referred to any of that chat up there.
Yeah, I've done all that.
Good.
Whilst you've been on the figuring it out from the production side of things.
Absolutely, about watching the stream. I think that's pretty logical watching the stream while you're on the table.
I'm going to just double check. I think their question was, why can't you watch the... the question was obviously, when did you start banning players from watching the stream? I'm pretty sure it applies only to the feature table, but I will double check that with the TDs out there. As I said before, I've got other jobs within the
I actually
company,
think that's right. I think it's just on the final or on the feature table.
for production value, making sure that
Yeah.
what we can put out there and what we're streaming out live to everybody else doesn't look like, just obviously for production value. I don't want to double look over it, but that's essentially what I meant.
Yep.
Matt Ross says it's 100% fine on his end.
Thank you, Matt. So, if you're having any issue, maybe, as I say, just refresh the browser and hopefully it'll catch up. We do appreciate your compliments too. Thanks. We're doing our best here, and we clearly appreciate the input when you maybe hear something that you don't like or thick-skinned here. Love to hear the chat, love to get suggestions. I suppose, Josh, the background to all of that is that we're trying to broadcast to the most broad audience that we can.
Yeah, 100%.
We aren't broadcasting purely to professionals, poker aficionados. We want to make this accessible. We want more people playing poker.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to feel that they're left out. So if you feel that there's something you want to ask about, don't be ashamed, as we've got an all-in here.
Paul Chubby's moved it all in with the A7. Dennis called with the pocket jacks. He has picked up that gut shot draw on the turn. The two's not going to help him. The ace or a six will chop this pot here, unless it's a diamond. River card comes
the
to diamond, and the flush mode with the pocket jacks will get the job done. Paul Chubby absolutely out in seventh there. Fierce competitor, Chubby. Don't know if he's going to be overly happy with coming seventh because he's such a competitor, but still good money. And he'll be taking that probably most likely into another event. As you can see, here's the payout, 74 big ones right at the top, if you don't mind. 46 for second, 32 for third, 23, 4, 17 and 13 for fifth and sixth.
No surprise there, Josh, that the table's pleased that everybody moves up in the payouts.
Yeah, 100%.
They're pretty happy.
Yeah, a little bit extra money in the pocket for every bust out. Anyway, back to the action. The blinds here are 12-24 with a 24K big blind ante. Under the gun here, Jared's picked up the Queen 10 off. Likes to fold. Michael's folding the Queen 5 for sure. Dennis here in the hijack.
2 fold, 3 fold.
Holds the Queen 6. Alex Queen 3 straight in the bin. The Jack 6, I should say. Queen 3 in the bin. Background to Adam in the small blind. 4-3, suited connector.
Thought about it, but
Might just try and raise here and take it down.
84. It would not have worked. 5 raise, 84,000.
All right, mini main flight D, blinds are up. 500, 1,000 with 1,000 big blind ante. So mini main flight D, blinds are up. 500, 1,000 with 1,000 big blind ante.
Going back to the action here.
6 fold.
20 inches. Flip one is sold out. Flip one is sold out. 4 ready to go.
What do you do about that?
Move and move.
Heads up.
It's been raised to 60,000, caught in the big blind by Jared with the Jack 5.
Oh, no, thank
Or no help to either of the players. The Ace-9 way out in front, 83% favourite. Dennis most likely just going to bet. And Jared, unless he finds some sort of a float here with Jack 5, which I can't imagine he's going to do. He's just going to fold it, which he does.
You must have something.
Dennis just picks up that pot, increases that chip lead. He's over 4 million now.
Josh, probably worth a chat to the TD regarding watching the stream. I'm pretty sure that, you know, I've actually heard and you know, supervisors walking around making sure players aren't watching the stream.
Yep, sure.
So
like at the table whilst
at the
they're
tables
playing. Yeah,
watching.
sure.
So it's not just
The feature?
the feature.
Yep.
I'm almost certain that they're told that they're not watching the stream, because as the guys are saying, there's probably a bit unfair if you're on the feature table you can't watch it, but if you're on an outside table
Sure.
you can.
Yep.
I'm sure that that's not happening. I'm sure that if you're in a multi-table event that you are told that you're not to watch the stream. But we can clarify all that, and that's why we love the chat and love to get the questions. Haven't played yet, Brenton. I hope you do get down here or to one of the other APT events and play, because it's a great experience. We had I think a $55 satellite and come in for virtually nothing and
Yeah,
vault your way into a big event.
that's it. That's poor Tilly. He's hilarious. Anyway, the flop down comes down King Queen 8 with the 2 clubs down. Sam has picked up top pair. Dennis has got that gut shot with the 10, and Michael's picked up the flush draw. It might be a little bit of fireworks here. Michael's going to bet this flush draw. Oh, sorry, pardon me. He's going to call with his flush draw. Sam has bet top pair. Back round to Dennis, who is the chip leader. He does have that gutter ball with the 10 and a lot of chips, so he's going to come along too. And we're off to... Pardon me, he has raised it. Sorry about this. We're having a little bit of technical issues here in the box, so some of the graphics you see at home we might not be able to see. So he appears to have raised it to 250. Sam's going to let it go with the top pair with the 9 kicker. Back round to Mike here. He's only got 522k in chips. Pot's at 588k. He has got that flush draw. As you can see, a 42% underdog. 42% equity he's got essentially in his hand. He is an underdog against Dennis, even though Dennis hasn't got a pair. It's going to lay it down. The ace-jack is the best hand out of those 2 hands there.
Now, viewers might be interested in a little bit of the technical background of how this all works too, Josh.
Sure.
Because you talk about the graphics and us slightly lagging behind sometimes.
Yep.
So this RFID table is brand new. This is a Hashem Management Group table, which everyone who's played on it has just been so effusive about.
Yep.
Love the table.
Love it, yep.
We've seen the poker technology grow from the little camera, and we have to lift the cards up and show them. And, and
the
then
pocket cam, as they used to call it.
It was the biggest innovation for World Series of Poker and WPT, obviously, and sort of turned it into a TV sport. Then we went to the little glass the window that you had to put the cards over
Not
the top.
my favourite, I must admit. Not my favourite, no.
But what we have here is some incredible technology where there's chips in the cards and the RFID reader reads the cards for us, so that as long as the players put the cards down on the RFID reader, which is in that box, we can show you the cards, and we rarely miss a trip. There's very few hands where you don't see the cards for whatever reason that the RFID hasn't read it. And then with the chip counts and the bets, the dealer's mic'd up, and he's actually telling our producer back here what the bet is. And our producer's sitting here putting the bets in. That's Craig, who's probably one of the hardest workers here. We hardly see him get up off the chair.
Yeah. He's here from when we start streaming all the way through, keeping track of all the action, making sure that all the stacks and all the information that you're getting at home is accurate. So he does a very long day, and he does an excellent job at that.
And Josh, you're talking about, you know, supporting and working alongside all the other tours and as a community. I know that Tony Hashem wants to make this technology available to other tours as well, wants to get the RFID table out for other broadcasts.
Sure.
You know, it's not good for poker to have this table sitting in a warehouse for weeks and weeks and
True,
weeks.
no doubt.
So I mean, I think you'll see a lot more of this type of broadcast. Maybe not to this extent of what we do here. We've got a big production team, and maybe we should take some vision at some stage of the production back here. It's pretty incredible. I've worked a lot of mainstream productions, and you know, it's fantastic for a stream, what we do here. But yeah, to make it available and you know, have a lot more streamed Australian poker.
I love this by Alex here. It's been raised to 50,000 by Jared, and Alex just piling on the pressure there. He re-raises it back with a 3-bet to 225k, just takes down the pot. I like that. This is where Alex can be really dangerous, I have to admit. You know, he knows the game back to front. He knows when he can push, you know, marginal hands and put the pressure back on his opponents to fold stronger holdings. In that particular instance, obviously, his King 7 was in front of the Jack 10, but he didn't know that. Only the viewers at home and us here knew that at that particular time. So it's made a pretty good call there and raised it up, taken down the pot. And every little chip here counts. You know, I remember, Harvey, you were with me at APT Bankstown about 3 months ago, or whatever the case may be, when Malcolm Trainer, who had 3 BBs left on the final table, came back to win. So every little chip counts. You know, there is that story of the chip in the chair and so on and so forth that most poker players know about. You know, it can happen. So all you're trying to do is collect as many as you can, like Pokemon, and hopefully at the end of the day you've got enough to take down the top prize of $74,000, the coveted trophy, a $750 entry into the High Roller opening event, and the Drakakis ring and trophy and everything else that comes with it, and the pride and the prestige. And it's a big one, the Goliath.
And we look at the chip stacks there, and even on the short stack, it's not desperate stakes, not even close. And so, you know,
not really.
So you know, everyone's in here with a massive chance of winning. Of course, you want to be the chip leader. I think Adam has been the chip leader, or you know, thereabouts, up the top for so long in this event. He's probably never felt a heap of pressure because he's just had chips since, I suppose, we started broadcasting on day one.
That's true. We definitely had chips, otherwise he wouldn't have been in the event.
As
But
in,
yeah, I totally agree.
Big chips, a big stack, I should say.
Yeah, spot on. I totally agree. But you're right. I mean, the lowest stack on the table only has about 630k. He doubles through. He's got 1.3. Gets through again. He's got 2.4. He's basically coming second in chips on the table. So, and that's easily doable. You know, you pick up 2 monsters, get a couple of sick callers in there or whatever, and easily you can be coming second in chips. So, you're absolutely spot on there, Harvey. Anyway, it's been
talking of the man.
Folded around. Here's Adam. As you can see, there's a little bit of a technical glitch here. I believe that Alex might have raised it to 50,000 on the dealer button, but his cards aren't picking up on the RFID table.
Yep, so I just said that happens so rarely, and it is. I mean, there's very few times where you wouldn't know what a player's holding because the RFID is so good. What that means is that Alex he's looked at the cards and put them back down. He's maybe stacked them, as you can see, so he stacked them on top of each other. So that's just a little technical thing.
So we're going to call this one cold.
But I love that too.
Yeah, cool, because it gives us a chance to call it cold.
That's right.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you think he is holding?
Yeah. So pretty big card here on the turn, actually. Adam obviously has top pair with a very decent kick of the king. Sam obviously picks up the up and down draw. Alex, we're just calling cold here. We'll see what the action's going to do. Adam might lead out here with his top pair and second best kicker, which is what he's leaning towards doing. Depending on the bet size, Sam actually might come along here because now he's up and down. He does it, he folds. Comes back around to Alex with the not sure cards. Bet of only 65k.
And because it is Alex, anything could happen here. You said the word dangerous. I think if we get his fellow players in on commentary and said who's the most dangerous player on this table, they probably all would say Alex, just because of he's so hard to read. And of course, wow.
King of clubs at the river here. Now, I reckon personally Alex might have, you know, he might have sort of like a, I'm not sure what the action was pre-flop, but I'm going to go something like an ace-jack maybe here. He's decided to flat with an ace or a jack of clubs in his hand on the turn. Something in that vicinity. He could have had, I don't know, an 8-9 potentially. There's quite a myriad of different hands. I should have followed the action a little bit better, but we were talking about other things at the same time. So the action here is back on Adam here. He's got top 2 pair, but there is a 4 flush down, meaning any club in your hand complete a flush. There's also a straight down. He's going to check it back around to Alex, who checks it back, I believe. Adam's going to show him top 2 pair.
Look like he's got.
And Alex
club.
puts his card straight in the bin there. Not sure exactly what Alex had there, but obviously it wasn't strong enough to beat the King 10 top 2 pair of Adam. So he didn't have a club, we know that for a fact.
Yep, and then
he didn't have King Queen beat either, King 10 beat either. So might have just been a speculative call. Could have had a gut shot, up and down draw. You know, could have had an ace-8, for example, there. Just wanted to peel one off with a 65. He can afford it.
Just can see there, Adrian, noting that Dennis folded pocket 7s in the cut-off. It would have been fun had he stayed in.
Yeah, for sure.
7 coming on the turn.
Now, Sportelli, I'm probably going to jump out of this combox shortly.
Get down here.
You know who I am. So if you come and see me, mate, let's talk some business. I might even try and get you in there with Hash or
nice.
Josh Mack. Give Harvey a bit of a breather. He's going to be in the combox probably most of the day, Harv, so he needs to have a couple of hours to himself as well. Otherwise, you know, it's tiresome being in the box all day.
Look, I love the variety. We had
100%, totally agree.
J-Mac and Didier in together for ages last night, and they got fantastic feedback. Got some good talent here. Love to let them loose, but thanks, Josh. When you do leave, I'm not throwing you out, but when you do
got to
go,
leave it to the professionals. You know what I mean? I've got other stuff I've got to attend to.
You are working, so.
Well, I've got 23 messages on my phone I've got to get through, and 17 of them are things that I have to attend before 4:30. So I'm going to have to attend to them pretty quickly.
We'll grab someone else pretty soon. Yep. Might even just let you guys watch the stream for a while with 6 still in here and come back when it gets right down to the pointy end. But this is an all-action table. I'm sure no one's going anywhere. Over 70K for the winner. Heaps on the line.
I like this. Adam here is just raised on the button here with a 9-2 suited. Sam's 3-bet him to, I believe the raise actually was to 50K. It's been 3-betted to 135. And Adam, I think, thinking about doing something a little bit funky here. And calling with the 9-2. He's dominated, but you never know. Oh, I can guarantee you he's absolutely dominated now. No spades, no draw. As you can see, a less than 1% chance for Adam to win the hand. He basically needs running 2s to win this hand only. Sam here with top pair, 9 kicker. It's just going to go bet, most likely fold. There it is. You can't do anything. You can't trick that hand up. I know Adam's a great player, but he can't even trick that hand up. It's a bet fold, and probably a bit weak pre, in my opinion, but again, I'm not coming second in the Goliath. So, you know, it is what it is. He knows better than I do. I'll be heading down around 7 p.m, Josh. I'll come and see you then. Cheers, mate. Beautiful. That'll work. Brenton's suggesting that we go with a knockout Tony event. Whoever knocks him out wins 5K. I think if we,
I think he'd love that too.
I was about to say, I think if we had that event going, we'd probably get too many runners for what we had for the 65 tables we got here. Everybody would love to play that event, you know. A free roll to knock out Tony wins the 5K. You'd have every person in their dog and bone here playing that event.
Yeah, I reckon Joe would be the first one entering, wouldn't he?
I think you're right. Ah, dearie me. Adam here with the 6-4 in the cutoff, raises it to 50K. Sam's picked up the suited connector with the 9-8 suited. These two are battling at the moment. He's on the dealer button. He's selected to limp in as well. Background of Michael, who hasn't really picked up many hands, to be perfectly honest. He's got the King 4 suited in diamonds. Obviously has Sam's diamonds crushed. He's in the big blind, so he's most likely going to come along too. We've got 3-way action.
So we've got hearts, diamonds, and we see very little. Adam's picked up
second best pair.
6s, yep.
Yeah, second best pair. The other two don't have much. Sam can get there with a 9 or 8 or backdoor straight cards. King on the turn would help Michael quite significantly. He'd pick up top pair. And Backdoor hearts also for Adam to go with these sixes. Hence the reason why he's a 60% favourite. It's gone check. Better 50k. Back round to Sam. Some might call this hand a no hand, no draw. He's going to let it go on the button, and Michael E's not coming along either. So Adam will pick up the pot there. That's back to back for Adam. Oh no, sorry, Adam lost the last hand with the 9-2. Pardon me.
But what he has been is active.
Yeah,
he's,
true.
He's certainly been in the vast majority of hands since we've been watching, and
just picked up the chips that he gave to Sam. He just picked them back the hand.
Well, they do. They
hand later.
So
Fly
around the table, don't they? The chips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So just a reminder, 6 left here out of 118 that started the Goliath, $2,500 buy-in event.
That is correct. This is one of our majors, the Goliath, the 2,500 buy-in. The payouts are in the chat log. They should be pinned. You can scroll down there to the pin and have a look at them. I think it's 74,000 big ones on up top for the winner.
That shot there and that shot there. Have a look how busy the room is. There's so much going on. What other tournaments are happening at the moment? Because today's probably the chock-a-block day for a number of events.
That's correct, yep. So what we do have that just started 8 minutes ago, give or take, is the hop. That is a $150 buy-in, 30k start stack, 2 re-entries, level 8. So late registration to level 8, 15-minute levels. There's a self-dealt event, so that's on right at the moment. After that, at 4 o'clock, we have the high-stakes shot clock event. That's a $2,200 buy-in, 40k start stack, unlimited re-entries. Late registration goes till level 10. Half an hour levels, that's a dealer-dealt event. And then bang, 6 o'clock, if you don't mind. Brisbane Champs, Flight C. It's got that $200,000 guarantee. It's a $750 buy-in stack. You start with, it's 30,000 re-entries. You get 2 of those bad boys. Late registration till level 8, 30-minute levels, fully dealer dealt. And then, like I said, probably at nauseum at this point, the team's event, one of my favourites, 6:30 start, $300 entry, 60k start stack, couple of re-entries, late registration till level 8, 15-minute levels. That's a self-dealt event. And then the Friday night ladies event, bang, 7:30, 250, 30k start stack, re-entries 1, late registration till level 8, 15-minute levels, and that is fully dealer dealt. There is some setties going on at the moment for the high-stakes shot clock. So if you want to have a chance to win a seat into the high-stakes shot clock that has a $2,200 buy-in, come right down. We've got the setties going at the moment. For every 10 entries into that $220 satellite, we will give away a ticket to the high-stakes shot clock, which starts today at 4. Give you an opportunity to win some big cheese. Probably anticipating something around 60, 65, maybe 70 runners for the high-stakes shot clock. But you never know. Could be more than that, as I've been proven wrong a couple of times this week, where I've sort of anticipated 100 runners and we got 200. So you never know.
I'll tell you the other one I reckon you'll get some good entries for is the ladies event, because we've had so many females playing here in the open events.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that they're really looking forward to that one.
Yep.
That's is that only 250 buy-in?
Yeah, 250.
Pretty accessible buy-in. If you are ever thinking about coming down and playing a tournament as a female, and you maybe have thought you'd be a bit intimidated or a little bit unsure, come down and play the ladies event tonight. It's,
bloody oath.
You're very, very welcome. And then I think about 11 o'clock, Josh's favourite event opens. That's the dance floor at the Eatons Hill Hotel. So,
yeah, sure. Oh dear, I'm a bit too old for the dance floor, but I know exactly what you mean. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was here last Friday to set everything up here for the APT, so I did know it was going absolutely gangbusters upstairs. So, yeah, but that is true. If you do bust out, you can always go upstairs if there's no other events that you can play in and enjoy the dance floor. It does turn into a club here upstairs, and it is very busy, I must admit.
So they're not going off to the dance floor here, Josh. They're going off for a break on this table. It's been fantastic having you in for a little while.
Just a little kicker, add a kicker to that Friday night ladies event that kicks off at 7:30. Just reading here, Harv, on top of the rest of the schedule, if you don't mind here, free glass of champagne.
I thought it actually said your chance to meet Josh Monk, but anyway, it's it does say free glass of champagne.
Free glass of champagne
Very nice.
upon entry. It's a dealer dealt event, 7:30 for the ladies to come down, $250 buy-in, 30K start stack, 1 re-entry. It's a turbo, 15-minute levels, fully dealer dealt. That's at 7:30 tonight. So come on down here to Eaton's Hill. Appears at the moment we're on a short break, so it gives
I think
me
it might
and you
even be a
Harvey an
decent break.
opportunity to
It might be a decent one.
jump out for a little bit.
Yeah, it might be a half-hour break. Anyway, we'll be back when they're back on the table. Thanks, Josh. I'm sure we'll hear your dulcet tones in the next few days again, but good luck with today. It's a massive day here. So many events, so many people around. Get down to Eaton's Hill if you are in the area and want to play a little bit of poker.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Harv. Always been a pleasure. Ciao.
6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 4, 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4, 9.
4249, correct.